All right. Thank you for your patience. Now we open up our public hearings because it is 7:03. Our first public hearing is proposed tax levies for fiscal year 2021. Mr. Hathaway, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Uh, Before you this afternoon, you have, sorry, having a little technical difficulty here. Um, You have a list of proposed tax levies for the upcoming fiscal year, 2020-2021. You're not required to take action, nor is staff requesting that action be taken tonight. The purpose of this action tonight is to hear from the public on the advertised tax rate. If all goes along with our budget schedule, if all goes as scheduled, you would be taking action on the tax rate on May 27th, which is your May work session. The proposed tax rates are listed in the advertisement, which you have before you. The real estate rate is proposed at 82 cents per 100, and I'd like to say this is based on my presentation to you back in March, and this was pre-COVID-19 pandemic. And since this has occurred, the coronavirus has occurred, we'll let you know that staff is taking another hard look at our budget and looking for ways to reduce that 82 cents. We plan to come back to you next month with the new proposed rate. And also for the public too, as we work through our revised numbers and revised budget, we will be having a special budget work session this Friday at 9 o'clock here in this room. Also like to state that the 82 cent rate is a 6-cent increase. Our current rate is 82 cents per 100. We've just gone through a real estate reassessment, and we're required by law to equalize the rate after every reassessment, and the equalized rate is 76 cents. So by holding the rate at 82 cents, that effectively would be a 6-cent tax increase, as shown in the advertisement. We're proposing no change to the tangible personal property tax at $3.75 per 100. No change to the Public Service Corporation tangible personal property tax, also $3.75 per 100. No change to the airplane tax, machinery and tools tax, or the special rate for tangible personal property tax not otherwise exempt or set out for one vehicle per qualified fire rescue volunteer or auxiliary volunteer. This is the rate, a special rate that we offer our volunteers for our fire and rescue volunteers. I would like to note, though, we are proposing a change to the Bottoms Bridge Sewer Water District ad valorem tax. We are proposing a 2-cent decrease to that, which will take that rate from 15 cents, which is its current rate, to 13 cents. This time I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Hathaway, we talked about another decrease in air water.
Right. What you're considering right now are tax levies. We are proposing, and we'll go to fees during the next public hearing, but we are considering decreasing, or I'm proposing that we decrease our water and sewer user fees by 1%. And that's an across-the-board reduction for all users on our public utility system. And I think it's a significant, 1% is small, but it's significant in the fact that this is the first decrease in user fees since the establishment of our user fee rates. So I'm glad that it seems like we've gotten to a point where we're bringing in enough revenue that we can start to look at reductions in user fees.
And so for fees, that's going to require a public hearing as well. as well?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, the next public hearing that you have after this one is for proposed amendments to Appendix A, which is the list of fees in our code. Now, we'll say user fees for the utility system are not included in this right now because we hadn't finished the calculations. But that public hearing for the utility fees will be conducted at our next month's regular meeting.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Tiller?
Mr. Hathaway, when you talked about the discount rate for volunteers.
Yes.
Is that based on the number of hours that they participate in the county as a actual volunteer? Or should it be?
Right now, I don't believe it is based on the number of hours that they volunteer. Now, we offer other benefits to our volunteers that are based on the number of hours that they contribute to the system. But this particular benefit, I do not believe it is based on the number of hours. But you have to be a current member and an active member. You can't just have your name on the rolls and never show up. But I don't believe we have a set standard. But
okay. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Any more questions, discussions of Ms. Hathaway? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We will now open the public hearing. We have anyone sign in? Thank you so much. No one has signed in, so we will now close the public.
Excuse me, Madam
I'm
Chair.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Just before we close the public hearings, as we've encouraged residents who do not attend today, we're trying to encourage them to stay home and view the meeting on Facebook Live and send us their public comments. I would like to state for the record that I have received one comment from a Mr., and I'll probably mess up the last name, but William Francavilla has submitted comments asking the board to consider the impact of the COVID-19 virus on the residents of this community, as there are now people that are without jobs and that are struggling financially. He is asking that we take another look at our proposed budget and tax rate and try to make as many cuts as we can and lower the rate as much as possible.
Okay, thank you so much. Has anyone else received comments?
You just had a copy of what Mr. Hathaway, I received that copy.
You did?
I think you put it on everybody's desk.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now we will close the public hearing. Okay.
Move to the next one.
That's right. Okay. So our next public hearing is for our proposed amendments to Appendix A, fees of New Kent County Code.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Each year, I have staff look at all their fees that they charge the public for the purpose of making sure that they're consistent with the market and surrounding localities, but also looking at, are we covering the cost to provide that particular service? And as a result of that analysis conducted by staff, I am proposing several fee amendments that would take effect next fiscal year and would be adopted as part of the budget as well. So no action is required tonight on these fees. We only want to seek public comment on the proposed fees. You'll see at the top there's fees for commercial burn permits. One is a one-time fee and the other is an annual fee. This is actually a new fee for the commercial burn permits. You'll also see several fees for cost recovery for emergency response. These fees are really guided by the insurance company and based on what the insurance company will reimburse us for. And then you do have some planning fees. You have some fire and rescue permit fees where it's been our previous practice, and I guess our current practice now, when there are events that take place around the county that requires emergency services. We have different tiers of charges based on who is present at that event. We've tried to standardize those fees really to make it easier for the public and the individuals conducting events to have one rate of $40 per hour. Currently, if the chief fire marshal there, it's $56.64 per hour. If the assistant fire marshal there, it's another rate. If the emergency manager is there, it's another rate. So we're really trying to standardize that. And also in the planning department, they are proposing to eliminate fees which are currently no longer collected and processed or even valid. They're really doing some cleanup of their fees. The first two items deals, the first item is a plat endorsement and coordination fee. We've changed our processes and we've no longer charged that fee. The second is an easement and right-of-way fee. We don't review easements, so therefore we no longer charge that fee as well. Also, there's a private road inspection fee. We've changed our process in that instead of having a standardized fee, when an applicant signs a permit application, they are agreeing to reimburse us for any costs that we have. So if we have to get an inspector out there to do a final inspection on the road, we're not held at that $125 limit. If it costs us $150 to perform the final inspection, we will recoup that. And the applicant acknowledges that when they sign the application and submits it. And then there's a road maintenance initial funding fee of 5% of the gross sales price of all lots. This is also a fee that we currently collect. It's required by code, so we're just taking it out of this section. And it's actually, we're removing this from this section because it's not a fee that the county collects. That is a requirement for the developer who creates a new subdivision. That's a requirement of them to fund the initial revenue for any HOA that's newly created. So that money doesn't go to the county, therefore it shouldn't be in our fee schedule.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you.
All right. Now we're open for public comment period.
Thank you.
No one signed up, Mr. Teller. Okay, so we will close our public comment period. If all hearts and minds are clear, we have continuation, and we will continue this meeting. It will be continued until 9 a.m. on Friday, April 17th, here in the boardroom of the New Kent County Administration Building. Our next scheduled meeting is our regular meeting, which will be held at 6 o'clock p.m. on Monday, May the 11th, 2020. And the next work session will be at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, April 29th, both here in the boardroom of the New Kent County Administration Building. Yes, Mr. Evelyn?
Madam Chair, I think you need a motion.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I move to continue this meeting until 9 a.m. on Friday, April 17th in the boardroom of the County Administration Building.
Thank you, Mr. Evelyn. Ms. Watkins, will you poll the members, please?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
And Ms. Page?
Aye. Now can we have a motion to adjourn? Much for attending the meet. Yeah, I know, right? Thank you so much for attending the meeting tonight. Be safe.